Alright, so recently on the channel, we finished up the Rockstar Games challenge where I was trying to finish all of them before the channel hit 900,000 subscribers. And due to my insanely fast finishing abilities, I managed to do it just in time and I won a challenge for once. Now in the past on the channel, there's been numerous challenges from LEGO to Ubisoft to random games spanning across over a year now. And my personal favorite challenge that I've done is actually the Ubisoft one. Yes, despite my hatred for the company, I did find that challenge the most fun. So I decided today and for the coming months, I'm going to be doing another challenge, but with some games from another very well-known developer. That being EA. Electronic Arts, baby. Home to numerous games varying in love and hatred. EA is one of the most well-known companies in the video game space, and I personally love most of their games, with my favorite franchise being the Need for Speed series. Before this challenge, I did not grab every single EA game because most of them no longer work, and even a few on this list aren't possible to complete in 2025. However, I am still going to do all I can within the games to show them as much love as possible, even though they have been abandoned like I was as a child. But the goal is to finish every single one of these before the channel hits 1 million subscribers. And if I can't do that, then I must platinum Fortnite as the punishment. Yes, it got carried over from the Rockstar challenge. But today I chose to platinum Need for Speed Rivals, which is the oldest available Need for Speed game on the PS5, and it's an absolute banger. I played this forever ago on my old Xbox 360 as a kid, and I had so much nostalgia playing it again today. In total, there's only 26 trophies including the platinum. I had 8 starting off today from playing a long time ago for fun, and in total, it only took me about 27 hours to complete, but that would be much less if not for some issues that I had within playing it today. But starting off, I jumped in where I left off previously, and I was in the middle of finishing up the racer career inside of Need for Speed Rivals. Within the game, you can play as either a racer or a cop through their differing careers, and you are essentially rivals with each other, hence the title of the game. There isn't really a story per se, but rather assignments to complete on the career board spanning across around 60 different ones. They all contain a very similar organization, however, and some are so closely related that they almost seem the same. But when I started playing again, I was jumping right into stage 2 of the trophy guide, and I made it my goal to play as a racer and get to level 60 for all of those trophies before beginning the cop career, which I haven't even touched yet. And I was already more than half done with the racing career, being in the 30s of level. However, picking up at random was a bit awkward at first, especially with the mechanics of Need for Speed Rivals driving in the game. After playing the Forza Horizon 5 recently for the platinum, I felt a bit confident with my driving skills. However, this game has a much more violent driving mechanic, we will say, and it's actually crazy how fast-paced this game is and can be. I think Rivals probably has the most aggressive driving in any Need for Speed game I've yet to play, but my god, is it fun. And more than it just being fun, it's almost addicting because of how fast-paced the gameplay is. My little ADHD brain feels like it's getting nicely while I play this, and I'll say it. Gaming was better in 2013. It truly was. But the first trophy I got today was just from reaching rank 40 right here after doing some more racing assignments. And here's a tip for you all if you want to get this platinum. After playing through the required assignments, you obviously need to go back and do the rest for level 60, but start off with the hard ones first because the hard assignments near the end of the list actually give you more rank up points than the easy ones do. And it goes by much faster than doing all of the easy ones first, if that makes sense. But honestly, with this game's structure, there really isn't too much to say or comment on because it's very simple and straightforward. You literally just need to clear all the assignments to get to level 60, and yes, it is kind of a slow grind, but it's also not if you choose wisely with what races and events to do for the assignments, because some just say complete X amount of hot pursuits, for example, and if you choose the easy ones, it will obviously go faster compared to choosing the hard ones and having a tiny testicle torsion trying to complete it. But the next trophy I would get from the gods was reaching rank 60 in the racing career and finishing it completely. But going from rank 40 to 60 took me a grand total of 4 more hours of playtime in this game to get it, which is kind of a lot considering that's just 4 hours straight of doing assignments over and over and over to achieve this. But again, it's not really that difficult. I did keep the hard ones for last, unfortunately, which was my bad because I didn't totally understand how the career overview functioned. But once doing all of those races and getting to 60, the trophy popped upon me returning to the hideout. So I then began stage 1 according to the trophy guide, which was to finish the cop career now. And that's basically it for the trophies of this game, at least the hard ones. But the cop career begins much like the racing career does, with some intro tutorial assignments. Now, since I already had completed the racing career, I don't necessarily remember what the intro was like because I played it forever ago, but I know it functions the same in terms of us getting set back to square one and having nothing in terms of cars, money, or upgrades, and it's actually quite demeaning going from driving the fastest cars in the game to the level 1 cop car. But side note, this game's soundtrack is absolute heat, and it brought back so many memories of the good old days. It's insane, bro. I can't even. Oh my god! Anyways, back to the game. The cop career is actually probably my favorite one. I think it's just really cool to be a cop in a Need for Speed game, and also the cops in this game are annoying as shit. so it's nice to not have to worry about them while playing as one. But once finishing the main tutorial missions and a few more assignments, I reached rank 5 and I got that trophy. Now on the way to rank 10, which is the next rank a trophy pops on, I actually got 2 random trophies from just playing. The first one was called 5 Buster from busting a racer at heat 5 or greater. Now the higher the heat, the better the racer is, obviously, going up all the way to 10 as the max. So 5 is pretty decent, it's nothing too hard however. And I didn't bust a 5 racer in any sort of event, just the free roam patrol that is within the game. I was also playing on single player mode, not public sessions, because the public servers of this game are a bit rough in 2025, and they switch hosts too often, which basically ruins the game's seamless immersion. I'm on my vocab today, baby. But I busted the 5 heat racer right here with an aggressive tap into the ass and the trophy then popped. A short 2 minutes later, I then got another trophy called something something please. I don't think that's even English, EA, what are we doing? But it was just from busting 10 racers in a Mustang, which was a type of cop car that you get given very early on, and I busted my 10th racer right here within a Hot Pursuit event. And the Hot Pursuit events as a cop are actually my favorite, because it just has us ruining an ongoing race, and there is so much action, it's actually crazy fun. But here's that trophy once I busted my 10th racer as a Mustang car. I then did reach rank 10 only a few more minutes after that because I was on my final few assignments as I was doing those trophies. And again, once I banked my score into the hideout, it also finished off that assignment and I got to rank 10 with the trophy popping. Now on the path to rank 20, which is the next rank trophy marker, I again got a few trophies within the story grind. And the first one was called Deep Down You Know You Want To. I don't know what this is referring to, Electronic Arts, but if you think deep down I want to spend money on in-game transactions, then you might be right. You might be right. But the trophy itself was just from driving 50 minutes in any Ford and then entering a garage. And this is cumulative, so you can just play with a Ford car, whether it be a cop or a racer version, and after 50 minutes of driving, once you go into the garage again, the trophy will pop. Seeing this made me switch from the Ferrari I was using to the Shelby cop car, and I just played normally. This game also does have a form of skill-based matchmaking within it with the AI cars, and you can see this because when you replay the easiest events, but as a level 60, you will see they are much harder because it automatically raises the AI levels to be competitive with yours, regardless of the event's difficulty or when it was first available. Now that's kind of annoying later on, but right now as I use this Shelby, it was fine, despite it not being the best car available to me due to that auto ranking system. And I drove 50 minutes right here with the trophy popping finally once I entered the garage as stated. My next trophy was then called 5432 Mach 1, which is a little joke that is not funny like my jokes. But it's from getting 50 seconds of airtime in any Ford car yet again. Whoever made the trophies for Need for Speed Rivals must have had a Ford addiction because goddamn, Chevy supremacy is all I have to say. Anyways, to get 50 seconds of airtime, it does not have to be in one jump because that's impossible within this game, but rather collective, and I just spammed jumps at this bridge in the middle of the game's map. And this game's map is actually quite good for it being basically just roads with no real buildings to spice it up, but after I did do 50 seconds of airtime, the trophy then popped and we have stopped the Ford glazing. Unreal levels. And my final random trophy before reaching rank 20 was actually just from busting 50 different racers in the game. Now we all know what busting is, but if you don't, it's when you destroy a car completely, cause them to stop and not move as you touch them aggressively, and Sydney Sweeney. That's all I'm gonna say. But once busting 50 times, I got the trophy, and I was very thirsty afterwards. I would then sadly reach rank 20 and I got that trophy as well. I don't know why I said sadly, but it's raining outside, so that is sad. Anyways, I would then get 5 more trophies as a matter of fact from other activities on the way to rank 40, which is the next rank trophy pop marker. And before getting to 2 trophies that are very critical to this platinum, I instead just busted a racer at heat 8 or greater, which was actually the final event of the cop career, and it had us chase down a heat 10 racer in an interceptor event. Now this event isn't the worst of them available for the cop career, but it can be tricky, especially when going against the fastest kind of heat being 10 obviously. But once I did give that final shock ram hit into the dude, it popped me the trophy, and it also glitched out the game a tad bit because it sent us into the game's ending cutscene, which was very good. 10 out of 10, absolute cinema, Need for Speed Rivals. So that then places me done with the cop career in layman terms. I only say that because now I do have to go replay the other versions of each assignment we did to get more ranks up to 60 as we do. On the way there, I also got my 100th gold medal for a trophy that spanned across both the cop career and the racer career. Getting a gold medal is just done by being fast in pretty much every version of events in the game, and as we all know, I always finish fast, so here it is. But then I took a step away from the cop career ranks and I chased down the only 2 multiplayer trophies of this game, called Buddy Bust and Friendly Race. Now these are the 2 most annoying trophies of the entire game for absolutely no reason at all. And before we dive into this, I want to say a huge thank you to Kyle and NLP from my Discord server for helping me through these trophies, despite it just not working at all. But basically, both these trophies require you to play with a friend in Need for Speed Rivals and simply bust one as a cop and beat one as a racer in any type of event. Sounds simple, right? Well, it kind of is. However, when we tried to do it, no matter what, the trophies would just not pop. Despite me doing the exact thing the game said was required for the trophy, no matter how many times we tried different events, lobbies, sessions, not being friends, then adding each other back over and over and over, restarting the game, the console, the trophies would just not work. So I was completely and utterly lost. I looked up countless things on the interweb for assistance, but not many people had my issue, and that issue was that my friends list in Need for Speed Rivals was just not there. And the way this game recognizes you have a quote-unquote friend in your game is through the in-game list, which is connected to your PSN account. However, since I had no list in the game, I in turn had no friends for it to detect, making the trophies not work. And to fix this, I first crashed out a little bit. I almost broke my phone from throwing it at the ground, but I ultimately thought, hey, maybe because my PSN account has almost 2,000 friends on it, which is the maximum by the way, it might be overloading the friends in Need for Speed Rivals. Because back on release in 2013 when the game came out, the max friends on PS3 was around 100 from what I can tell by Googling it. I never had a PS3 so I don't really know, but I then spent about 4 to 5 hours deleting friends off my account, and I did it so much that it ended up breaking my friends list for a short while, and it was just a mess. After hours though, I managed to weed it down to around 800-ish, and I just launched up the game to see if it had worked yet, and sure enough, it did. I was correct in my assumption that having too many friends was actually breaking the game, and it was, damn it. So I hit up my boy Kylo once more. He joined my lobby and we banged out the 2 online trophies with ease right away, first try. I can't even express how glad I am that this worked finally. It would have been very awkward to start this new EA challenge off with an L. Very awkward indeed. But now with that done, I moved back over to just doing the cop career, and I did still have one more trophy before reaching rank 40, which was called Upgrade Master. And it's from upgrading all of the cop pursuit tech on one car and then equipping them both on both slots, obviously. Now this is very easy, it just requires a lot of speed points, which are the type of currency in this game. And once I did exactly that, I then got the trophy, and only 2 remain now. Just reaching rank 40 and 60, which are both the same as they were on the racing career. Again, just simply doing the assignments and getting the ranks. There really isn't too much to it, but it is still quite fun to do despite being a bit of a grind, and I will admit, sometimes boring at moments. A few assignments in this game do suck balls, especially the one where you just have to patrol for 10 miles, which means all you can do is just drive around, and that's the goal. Very intuitive for 2013 though, let's be honest. Anyways, I reached rank 40 here for the trophy pop, played quite a few more hours, and then I got 60 as well with the platinum trophy popping into my collection. So that was the Need for Speed Rivals platinum trophy experience, an absolute banger of a game. Overall, I think this game's platinum is super fun. It's a great intro plat, almost because it's so simple and not that hard to do. I highly recommend it to all of you guys to get the game and grind out the platinum because it does still work in 2025 somehow, and it's a ton of fun. I'm extremely excited for this challenge and playing some games in the collection. I will also be grinding out Battlefront 2 soon, so if you see me in a lobby, let me kill you. And that's all for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon with more platinums later this week.